the Secret Gospels, Ancient Heresies, and the Book of Enoch. If you spend any time scrolling online lately, you've probably seen a massive surge in interest surrounding ancient, non-canonical texts. The Book of Enoch is blowing up on algorithms everywhere. People are talking about secret traditions, fallen angels, and lost cosmic truths. But what actually are these books? Were they maliciously hidden by the Catholic Church to control the narrative? And more importantly, should everyday Christians actually be reading them? Today, we're breaking down the pros, the cons, and the historical reality of texts like the Book of Enoch, the Odes of Solomon, Pistis Sophia, and the books of Jehu. First, let's clear up a major point of confusion. Not all lost books are the same. Texts like the Book of Enoch actually predate mainstream Christianity and belong to a category called the pseudepigrapha, which means falsely attributed writings, referring to ancient books that use the names of famous biblical figures like Enoch, Abraham, or Moses as authors, even though they were written much later by unknown people. The Book of Enoch heavily influenced Second Temple Judaism and even the New Testament writers. Jude quotes it directly. On the other hand, texts like Pistis Sophia and the books of Jehu are explicitly Gnostic texts from later centuries, deeply esoteric, mystical, and presenting a radically different view of Jesus and creation. Were these books suppressed by the Church? The common narrative online is that a shadowy group of church leaders got together and intentionally banned these books to keep people in the dark. But historically, that's not quite how it went down. The process of canonization. The early church didn't ban books out of nowhere. Rather, local Christian communities organically gravitated towards certain apostolic writings that aligned with eyewitness testimony, historical reliability, and the core message of Jesus' resurrection. Late dates and diverse communities. Many Gnostic texts didn't even show up until the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th centuries, long after the apostles were gone. They represented fringe mystical sects, like the Valentinians or Sethians, rather than mainstream apostolic tradition. So they weren't so much suppressed as they were rejected by the broader church for teaching theological views that contradicted the core gospel. The pros and cons of exploring these texts. The pros. Historical context. Reading texts like Enoch or the Odes of Solomon gives us an incredible window into the cultural, apocalyptic, and devotional mindset of the ancient world right around the time of Jesus. Literary appreciation. They help us understand why New Testament writers used certain imagery, terminology, and themes. The cons. Gnostic dualism. True Gnostic texts often taught that the material world is inherently evil and created by a lesser, ignorant deity, the demiurge, which completely clashes with the biblical view of creation. Secret knowledge versus grace. Gnosticism, derived from gnosis, meaning knowledge, suggested salvation comes through secret, elite understanding rather than faith and God's grace available to everyone. What about specific books, like Odes of Solomon and books of Jehu? The Odes of Solomon. Beautiful, early Christian hymns of joy and spiritual devotion. While technically non-canonical, many Christians find them deeply moving and orthodox in their praise of Christ. Pistis Sophia and books of Jehu. Highly complex, esoteric, and cosmological texts detailing elaborate celestial realms, secret passwords, and mystical ascents. They are fascinating historical artifacts, but practically impossible to harmonize with historic Christian orthodoxy. Conclusion. Are they harmful? So, are these books harmful? If you approach them as a historian, a curious student of religion, or a literature nerd, no, they are deeply fascinating and valuable. However, if approached as hidden scripture meant to replace or fundamentally rewrite the orthodox teachings of the apostles, they can lead people into theological confusion. Mainstream Christians have historically kept the standard biblical canon because it provides a reliable, apostolic eyewitness foundation to the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. But exploring the wider library of antiquity? That's just a great way to understand history better. What do you think? Have you read the Book of Enoch or any of the Gnostic Gospels? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.